Hello and welcome to Detect an Intruder Home Alarm Systems. I wonder why this would be important. So think about it. Many of you might have things in your home that you don't want your siblings getting into. Maybe you have a journal or something along those lines. Maybe you want to make sure no one even comes into your room. Today you're going to learn about home alarm systems, how they're used, and then you are going to turn your code node into an intruder detector based on what you want to protect. For today's activity, you're going to need your code node, your SparkView software, and you may want to use the code node holder that comes in the kit in case you want to maybe put this up against a wall or attach it to something. It really depends on what you decide that you want to protect. All right, so let's talk about home alarm systems. In these activities, if you're working through Kit 3 right here, you've done a lot of stuff with sound and light. So how are sound and light sensors used in home alarm systems? There are many types of sensors that we use in home alarm systems to detect an intruder. Photoelectric beams use infrared light beams to detect someone moving in the room or through a door or window. The alarm is triggered when anyone obstructs or crosses that beam. You may have seen these types of systems in movies, perhaps during a jewelry heist. Ultrasonic detectors use high-frequency sound waves to detect movement within a certain area of the home. These frequencies bounce off the walls and furniture in a chosen protected room. When there is a sudden change, the alarm is triggered. A moving object changes the frequency of the surrounding waves in that room. All right, so your code node, I'm going to stop my program here because as soon as I open my briefcase, it's going to let me know someone's in my stuff. Still working. All right, I'm going to stop that program. Okay. All right, so your code node is armed with sound and light sensors on it, but there's other ones you can use. So here is your challenge to turn your code node into an intruder detector. Think of a scenario or something that you want to protect. Maybe you want to be notified when someone walks through a doorway. Maybe you want to know when someone opens a drawer in your room. There's many different things you can think of, but that's important. Think about what you want to protect first. Then you're going to choose an input. So the light sensor, the sound sensor, something that's collecting data that you can use in your program that will trigger the output you choose. You can use more than one. The program I just used utilized the 5x5 LED array and the speaker. You can do whatever you wish. Then I want you to build your initial program for feedback. We're going to practice sharing programs with other programmers to get their input on ways to refine or maybe make your program work a little bit better. You're going to get that feedback, and then you're going to make any tweaks you need to with your second round of programming. Once that's done, share it again with someone else for a final feedback. Once you get it, finalize that program, and then you're going to create, along with your algorithm that you're going to share with the public, you're also going to describe what type of home intruder detector sensor you created. So think of it kind of an advertisement. So you have your marching orders here. You have the parameters that you need to fit into your program. I'm going to have you pause the video now, work through the activity, and then if you want, come back and I will show you the program that I utilized to protect my important information in my briefcase. All right, my computer science engineers, I hope you were successful and you now have a final program and a great way to share why someone might want to purchase something like that. I'm going to share with you the solution that I came up with. I decided that I wanted to protect something in a container. So this was my briefcase, but it could also be a drawer that I had some important papers in that I want to be alerted if somebody opened that drawer. All right, so here's my program. I created a repeat while true. So again, it's just telling the computer to run through this program nonstop until I tell it to by clicking stop. And for the input, I chose to use the light sensor because when my drawer is closed, what's the light going to be? The percentage is going to be very low. It's going to be dark. So when that drawer is pulled open, the light level is going to increase, and that's what triggers my alarm to go off. And then I created a design on my 5x5 LED array to just kind of like be a warning. You might choose to use this type of block to program your LED array, but I wanted to challenge myself and I wanted to use the matrix that's here on the 5x5 LED array. And these numbers represent points of light on my 5x5 LED array. If you've ever done plotting coordinates, this is similar, but be careful and pay attention because it starts with 0, 0. Remember, this is programming language here, so it's going to work a little bit differently. But that's a fun way for you to investigate how to challenge yourself programming the 5x5 LED array rather than just the click block. So I'm going to delete that. I had to put in pauses because I wanted to have a neat little starburst design, so that little pause in time helps us see that design a little bit better. And then my if-else statement is as long as this is closed, there's going to be no alarm and no sound. So I'm going to go ahead and start it and just show you. I have to cover my light sensor to start. And what you saw before when I opened my briefcase, or if I pull open my drawer, it's then giving me my starburst design and the alarm's going off. And when the drawer closes, it stops. So that's just one example of a bazillion different things that you could do. If you want to challenge yourself even more, remember you have a magnetic field sensor in this code node, and you can actually get a magnet and somehow work that to where if the magnet is pulled away, your device is going to trigger. So just think about the different inputs and different scenarios you can do. And congratulations on programming your own intruder detector.